All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's Jeopardy week. Now, y'all have come on a tough one. I'm not going to lie to you, because we've been doing a series on the minor prophets. So there's in the Old Testament, there's a whole list of like teeny tiny books that nobody ever talks about. We've been talking about them. So if you've been here for the lessons, some of the top ones you might be able to get. Those 500 questions. So just to remind everybody, a couple of changes to the rules. Not allowed to use your Bible anymore. The idea behind that was you can use your Bible. You know, you kind of know where it is. You go to it, you look it up, you check on it, and you say, okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was, all right, or that's where I thought it was. What wound up happening was people were just reading whole chapters of the Bible while we stood here and waited for them to finish reading whole chapters of the Bible. So we had to make some changes. So hopefully, right. So we just to make it a little more palatable for people, we're going to change the rules a little bit. Used to, you would know to raise your hand to answer the question, because that's the way it was. We raise our hand, I call on somebody to answer the question. Usually it's the first person to raise their hand, but if you've already had the chance to answer a question, somebody else did raise their hand, I'm going to give the other person a chance, right? Used to, when I said go, right, I would do that. It's going to be different. Now it's that sound. Right, so this is going to be your stand-up, so I don't accidentally say go in the middle of a sentence and people start popping their hand up. I'm like, well, I guess I technically said it. So I think we are ready.
We're not going to be no threat to you.
Well, one of them's the Book of Jonah, so you have some hope there. Right? I'm pretty sure the 100 question for Jonah, anybody who's ever been a part of a Sunday school lesson as a kid could probably get. But yeah, the rest of them are going to be kind of tough. So we have Jonah, Micah, Nahum, and Habakkuk, the last 4 lessons we've had in Sunday school. So some of those are going to be toward the bottom. Some of those are going to be like fill in the blank or finish the quote from this thing. I tried to make them like things that we talked about during the lesson and so forth, so hopefully they're fresh in your mind. All of our Sunday school lessons are online for the next time we play, if you guys want to go fresh up on those the Saturday before or something. But, good luck. Right? You just plug in an earbud, just be like, hang on, just give me a minute, right? Yeah, right? Yeah. He's not part of he's not a member of the Secret Service. That's not what that is. You never know. I mean, all right. So for the kids, you guys have different questions, as a matter of fact, for your lessons. So I'm going to pull those up real quick, because their teachers don't always send me their questions, and I was going to make up different questions for them, and then they were like, no, we want to try to answer these. I was like, okay, and then they wound up winning. I think last week they wound up winning Jeopardy over the adults, which they're my kids, so I was awful proud, but at the same time, as a pastor, I was like, come on, adults. So we have questions for you guys this week.
We know the answer. We can beat up on the kids, right?
Let me pull up. Okay. Miss Christie.
Jonah for 100.
Okay. She took the easy one. Jonah got a ride inside this large animal.
What is a whale or fish?
What is a whale or great fish? Yeah. All right, that is 100 for Miss Christie. Let me keep track of the points. I evidently have a lot of notes. Okay. Christie, 100. Okay.
I'm going to go Micah for 100.
Micah for 100. According to Micah, this is how many upright there are among men.
how many upright there are among men. What is 3? I don't know.
Okay.
No.
What is
That's
none?
what-
Right. The trick was to think like a bitter woman who's been jaded. There are no good men, right?
I see.
Yeah. So that also, you might remember in that lesson we referenced the New Testament where Paul sort of quotes that. Says there's none righteous, no, not one. There's none that, yeah. So yeah, these are going to be very specific to these books. So good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Jacob. Yeah, I've got your question. Hang on. Where did the Gibeonites say they were from?
They said they were from far away.
That's correct. A very far away country. All right. JW.
I'll try Jonah for 2.
Jonah for 200. Micah, that was the wrong one. You clicked on the wrong one. Yeah. Jonah was called by God to this city.
Nineveh?
Let's see. What is Nineveh? That was 200. All right. I got you. I used to do that. I used to love doing this with the kids in junior church, where I'd have the horn, and then I'd kind of jerk it like that, and they'd all, some of them halfway up already. Amanda.
Micah for 300.
Micah for 300. Okay. Both our flesh, not our flash, and the Lord can make enemies out of this.
Nope, got nothing.
You want to throw out a guess, or you just want
I don't think that's right.
What'd you say?
the world? What is family? In Micah, there's a reference where it talks about father against mother and daughter, father against son and mother against daughter. And there's a quote very similar to that Jesus makes in the New Testament about his discipleship. And we taught about how both of those things can cause problems in family and so forth and that kind of a thing. You might recall that lesson. So that was what that was about. Yeah, we're kind of pinholing it. Usually you guys start on the 500s and work your way up. But we're missing 2 of our biggest players this morning. So usually Josh tries to play, right? And Sylvia tries to play. And all 4 of them are out this morning. So we're going to do the best we can. Dead. Jonah for 500. According to Jonah's prayer, this person cast him into the deep, into the ocean.
I know he blamed himself. He didn't blame the crew. Or was it God? I'm gonna go with God.
Yes.
Let's see.
Good job.
Who is God? Correct?
Yay, Don.
It's like a Rangers baseball game. Just out of nowhere, somebody gets 5 runs. You know? Anybody watch the game last night? We were up by 1 run, and all of a sudden the other team gets a grand slam. And I was like, I'm done. Oh. Let's see. Did you have your hand up? Okay, Lizzie. What did Joshua forget to do? He forgot to pray. Is correct.
Very good.
All right. Here we go. Okay. Now, kids,
How many points did
I
you
didn't
get?
look. 100. Those were the only 2 questions I got because you were the only one to send me questions. So I'm going to, I know the things you've learned about in the past, so I'm going to try to ask you questions about that. Just try to really think this morning, okay? It'll be about Joseph and stuff like that. So try to remember those lessons, okay? I need to stop putting it down. I should always have it in my hand. Miss Christie.
Jonah for 400.
All right, let's see. How many words were in Jonah's sermon to Nineveh?
8.
What is 8? He said, right, because you can't, if you know the quote, you can count it. Yet 8 days and Nineveh shall be overthrown, and that was it. Really gave them a good tongue lashing, didn't he? So that was 400. They seem easy because you know the book of Jonah. You get to those other books,
That's right.
not so easy. I think that was JW.
Micah for 200.
Micah for 200. Micah compares the moral condition of Israel to this summer fruit. That's your answer?
Yeah.
Let's see. What is a grape? He mentions...
Can I change my answer?
How much was that one?
200.
200?
No, 100. No, 100.
No, you broke even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom.
Jonah for 300.
300. This city is where Jonah wanted to go. This was 300.
I know. What is? Oh my gosh. I'm trying to tell you telepathically.
Yeah.
Come on, get it. I know, right? He was supposed to go to Nineveh, and he was going to go to Jordan. I don't know the answer.
What is Tarshish? Yeah. When you hear it, you know. You're like, oh, yeah. Jacob. Let's see. What did Joseph's brothers do to him out of jealousy?
Threw him in a hole and sold him to slavery.
That's correct.
Good job.
Right? Always picking on that little brother. Put his hand in warm water, cover him in shaving cream, sell him to a slave trader, all of those things, you know. Amanda.
Habakkuk for 200.
Habakkuk for 200.
Good girl.
This New Testament author quotes Habakkuk more than any other. Miss Christie's not competitive or anything at all. Yeah.
Slip us an answer once in a while. We don't
What
want
is
something
Paul?
stupid.
What is Paul?
Who is Paul?
Who is Paul?
Yes.
Let's see.
Good job.
Who is Paul? So that was 200? Okay.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
If they don't know the answer and somebody else does, do you get that, does it get passed down or no?
No.
Okay, so
No.
you have to just pick the category.
Yeah. It's kind of like Jeopardy on TV.
Yeah, we're dead in the water then, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they took all the Jonah questions pretty quick, didn't they? I was like, maybe you can get the Jonah for 100. Christy was like, I'm taking the Jonah 100 right away.
So we had to fight kids.
Miss Christy.
Habakkuk 100.
According to Habakkuk, the just shall live by this.
What is faith?
What is faith or his faith, depending on which verse you're quoting. Yep. That was 100.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that was sneaky.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Nahum.
Yep.
400.
For 100. The book of Nahum is written concerning this nation.
Was Israel.
What is Assyria? Nineveh's a city.
Nineveh.
Yeah, that's the name of a city inside of Assyria. Yep.
Okay.
Would not have got that.
Yeah, I would have gotten that one wrong.
It's also the nation that Jonah sent to,
Right.
the Assyrians. That's what Nineveh's inside of Assyria. So he's called to Nineveh.
The city.
It's sort of like the capital of Assyria. And that's why it was unique, was because it wasn't, particularly or especially God's people. So, Amanda.
Nahum for 300.
Nahum for 300. The Lord will take this on his adversaries.
Mercy. What is mercy?
Let's see.
I have to answer it.
What is vengeance?
Ooh, the complete opposite.
Yeah, we're in the Old Testament,
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So that was 300.
That's a good study tip right there.
We would have had one. We would have had one.
Hold on, I lost the cursor.
Lizzie. When Joseph was sold into slavery, what was the name of his master? It's been a long time ago. I'll give you a hint, okay? Starts with the letter P. Did you learn about this?
Yes, but I don't.
That's why he doesn't teach a Sunday school class.
I mean, she was taught the lesson, but that wasn't one of the questions.
Okay, so she might have have actually been taught his name. Okay. Okay, what happened to him after he was a slave? So he was a slave and then something else bad happened to him.
But I just whispered a while ago.
They sent him to somewhere else. Where else did he go? To jail is correct. He went to prison. Another 100 points for Lizzie. JW. Yeah.
Let's see. Micah for 400.
Micah for 400. According to Micah, when I fall, or quote, when I fall, I shall do this.
Right.
Let's see. What is arise?
I was going to say, get back up.
That's what I was gonna say.
I was thinking,
Would you
get
accept
up.
it, get back out?
Would you have accepted get back up?
I would have accepted. It's the right concept, but. All right, Miss Christie.
I'm going to try Micah for 500.
God delights in this.
I'm going to say righteousness. I don't know.
Let's see. What is mercy?
Ooh, 500 against me. I'm in the hole then, aren't I? At least I passed.
Oh, yeah. This was, it's kind of a big point at the last bit of that lesson. You might remember talking about how Usually in the Old Testament, people talk about how God is more vengeful.
Yeah.
But
You're right.
here, even in the Old Testament, we're talking about how God delights in mercy and that sort of thing. So, yeah. But that's why it was a 500 question, because it was hard.
Exactly.
Mom.
Nahum for 200.
Nahum 200. According to chapter 1, God is this.
What is that?
What is what? Love. What is jealous? Yeah. That is 1 John. But yes, that was in the Bible too. That was 100? 200? Okay. Okay. So we have 400 and 500 in Nahum and 3, 4, and 500 in Habakkuk. Jacob. All right, Jacob. Joseph met 2 people in prison whose names we don't know, but we do know what their jobs were. What were they?
Baker and a butler.
Is correct.
Good job.
Baker and a butler.
That's awesome.
The kids have not gotten one wrong yet. So, Amanda.
Habakkuk for 500.
Okay.
Whoa, going big.
God, yeah.
According to chapter 2, the Lord can be found here.
Everything went out of my brain
That's
as soon as you asked me that.
evidently what happens to a lot of people. So you are not alone in that at all. Make sure I can read my own notes when we're done here. You know, it is always super quiet when Josh is not here. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
You just have a track of him.
Right?
What
Just-
is everywhere? That's gonna be wrong.
Let's see. What is in his holy temple? You might remember that bit because they're talking about the idols that people were making and how they can't talk, they can't teach. You know, you can't really find their spirit anywhere. But God can be found living and in his holy temple. So
Can we win by the least amount of points?
this is not golf, no. You don't. Because you'd have more points if you didn't play at all than a lot of people so far. I haven't called on you in a while, right?
What's the one that Habakkuk for 300?
Habakkuk for 300. Finish the quote. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blank. This would be one of those questions where, and it wasn't just one person. It was, just about everybody that get a question like this and they just start reading the whole book of Habakkuk. Sitting here and we'd be like, do we have Jeopardy music we can play or something?
Logically thinking, whoa, so bad.
Right.
Build a town. Good one would be out of stone or rock. So bad one would be
Fish. You don't want to build a town with fish.
wood or sticks. I'm not sure what. Oh, wood.
Okay, let's see. With blood.
That'd be bad too.
Yeah, that'd be bad too. He's talking to Babylon here, who's growing their empire by taking over other countries. And so he's talking to them here about woe to you that buildeth a town with blood, saying that they will also be sieged upon. So, but that was a tough one. That's why it was a little high on up there. So that was 300. Okay. Miss Christie.
I'll try Habakkuk for 400.
Habakkuk 400.
Oh, no.
This is the daily double. So,
You're the perfect person for the day.
Oh.
well, how many know how Jeopardy works? Right? You watch it on TV?
We all can bid.
Right. So the daily double is for everybody playing. Right? So, I don't know how many were prepared with notes and note taking this morning, but everybody, based on how many points you have, can bid up to the amount of points you have. If you're negative, yeah, you don't have anything to play with, just like if you had 0.
So is everybody
Right.
negative besides the kids?
I don't think so.
I know I'm negative.
Here, I should have 200.
Hang on.
I think I'm negative. So can I?
I'm looking. Christy
I'm
is
negative?
is positive.
Oh, I am. Okay.
Dad, you're positive. Lizzie and Jacob, but that's a little unfair, right? Do we want to include them in the daily double? I don't think so. Yeah. They weren't in here for these lessons, and it's hard for all the adults. So, yeah. So I guess it's just the 2 that are positive. Okay.
I'm ready to go with my answer.
Well,
Well,
how much are you wagering?
0.
okay. You're wagering 0?
Yes.
Okay. So who thinks that they can... You want to give it a try? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Amos, Obadiah, Joel, Habakkuk, Nahum, Jonah. I said Amos. Okay, Micah. Did I say Joel already?
Yes.
Okay. Micah. Haggai, however you want to say it. Ezra. I didn't say Ezra yet, did
Ezra's not a minor prophet.
I? Okay, sorry.
You're fine.
And I got it wrong. I'm trying to picture the books as I turn the page.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Okay. You want to give it a shot?
Nope.
Okay. The answer is Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Haggai, Zephaniah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi.
Those are the ones I had trouble.
Right there toward the end, the H's and the Z's get jumbled up a little bit. They're on the screen there if you want to take a look. But
I've been trying to learn all the books.
Yeah.
And
this is the hardest bit, I would say, for anybody trying to memorize the books of the Bible. So that's tough. But we bid 0 points, so the daily double had no impact on the game at all, which is strategy, right? We have 2 categories left. JW.
I'm going to take one of the categories, right?
It's Nahum for 4 or 500 is all we have left. Nahum for 400. You missed it. These quake at the presence of God. The ungodly, that's a good guess.
That is a good guess.
What are mountains?
that's what popped
Yeah.
into my head, but
Yeah. That was a good guess, though.
I read it this
Dad?
Go for it.
Yep, let's do it. Finish the quote. Who can abide in the fierceness of his blank?
Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be wrath or vengeance. Old Testament. I'll go with wrath.
Let's see. What is wrath? For 500.
Boom!
Believe you got that right.
Really?
That's rude. That was mean.
They came out really mean and good.
Well, sometimes the truth.
No, I didn't.
You can tell why y'all are no longer together. I can see. Wow, he knew something? That's crazy. All right, so let me
Days in, you know?
So Don, it's either you or the young ones.
well, let me add this up real quick. See, that one's positive. I wrote that one down here. That one's positive.
Be right, and both 500.
Yeah, you're awesome, Don. Good job.
Okay, let's see. Negative. That one's positive. That one's positive. Okay, so I'm going to list the top 4 this morning. So in 4th place with 200 points is Lizzie. In 3rd place with 300 points is Jacob. In 2nd place, or no, wait, Jacob is 2nd place. I'm sorry. In 3rd place was Miss Christie with 100 points.
Positive.
Yeah, positive score on this game is saying something because these were tough questions. And in 1st place with 700 points is Dad.
Yay, Don.
So I know, 700 points. That's pretty good,
Would have validated Parkinson's.
right?
Surprise everybody. I don't know if it's good or bad.
You don't really ever answer. You just sit over there and
Yeah, he knows it.
he does know it.
He just didn't want you to know he knows it. He's like Sean from Boy Meets World. All right, so that is our game. That's our Sunday school for this morning. We'll be back at 11 o'clock to start the morning service.